There's something about Mass Effect that keeps pulling people back. Maybe it's the characters, maybe it's the choices, or maybe it's just that the universe feels lived in, real. Tonight we're going through the entire story, all the lore, everything that makes this galaxy tick. You'll see gameplay rolling in the background while we talk through it all. Some of you might be here to fall asleep, some studying, some just want the full picture without playing free games. However you're watching, that's fine. Most people won't make it to the end of this video, and that's exactly what it's designed for. We're taking our time, no rushing, just a clear walk through one of gaming's most detailed universes. Let's start 50,000 years before humanity even knew aliens existed. The galaxy wasn't always filled with the Citadel Council and mass relays connecting everything together. There was something before all of that, the Protheans. They weren't the first civilization, but they were the most recent to reach heights we can barely imagine. The Protheans built an empire that stretched across the galaxy, and they did it through conquest. This wasn't a peaceful federation. When the Protheans found a species with potential, they absorbed them, restructured their societies, overwrote their cultures. They called it uplifting, but it was domination with a diplomatic name. The Protheans had technology that made them nearly unstoppable. They understood Mass Effect fields in ways that modern civilization is still trying to figure out. Mass Effect physics is the foundation of everything in this universe. Element Zero, or EZO, is this material that when subjected to electrical current can increase or decrease the mass of objects in its field. Sounds simple until you realize that's how ships move faster than light, how weapons fire projectile rounds at a fraction of light speed, how biotics manipulate gravity with their minds. The Protheans mastered this 50 millennia ago. They built the mass relays? No, actually they didn't. They found them. That's the thing. The Protheans discovered this network of massive structures floating in space that could fling ships across the galaxy instantaneously. They had no idea who built them, but they used them to create an empire. On their capital world of Kai? Wait, that's not right. Their capital was never clearly stated, but we know they had major facilities on multiple worlds. One of those was Elos, beautiful planet, lush. They built massive archives there, libraries of genetic information from every species they encountered. The Protheans were meticulous record keepers. They documented everything because they understood something important. Cycles. They'd found evidence of civilizations before them. The ruins weren't detailed, but the pattern was there. Advanced societies rising up, reaching a certain point, then vanishing. The Protheans thought they were different, thought their strength would let them break whatever pattern had destroyed the others. They were wrong. Something came from dark space, the void between galaxies where nothing should exist. The Reapers, calling them ships doesn't capture it. Each Reaper is a 2-kilometer-long entity that's part machine, part something else. They're sentient, intelligent in ways that make normal AI look primitive, and they're old, millions of years old. The Reapers had been waiting, dormant, in the space between galaxies. When they detected that galactic civilization had reached a certain threshold, they returned. The Protheans called it the harvest. It didn't happen overnight. The Reapers were methodical. They hit the Citadel first. That station, the one that would eventually become the center of galactic government, was actually built by the Reapers. It's a trap, a beautiful, functional trap that every civilization eventually finds and uses as their capital because it's perfectly designed for that purpose. The Reapers know this because they've watched it happen over and over. When they arrived, they took the Citadel and cut off the mass relay network. Suddenly, the Prothean Empire couldn't communicate, couldn't coordinate, couldn't mount a defense. Individual worlds fought alone, and one by one, they fell. But the Protheans didn't go quietly. On Elos, a group of scientists realized what was happening. They knew they couldn't stop the Reapers, but maybe they could help the next cycle. They put themselves in cryosleep, planning to wake up after the Reapers left and rebuild. Except the Reapers were thorough. The war lasted centuries. When the Elos scientists finally woke up, most of their colleagues had died in their pods. Life support failures. The handful that survived found a galaxy that had been scoured. The Protheans were extinct. The Reapers had left, and the mass relays were reactivating, ready for the next cycle to begin. Those last Protheans on Elos made a choice. They couldn't rebuild their empire, but they could leave something behind. They created the conduit, a miniature mass relay linked to the Citadel, and they left their knowledge in a beacon, a device that could transfer information directly into someone's mind. Then they died. The last Protheans watched their species end and hoped someone would find what they'd left behind. Tens of thousands of years passed. The galaxy slowly refilled with new civilizations. The Asari were first, blue-skinned, long-lived, biotic. They found the Citadel around 580 BCE, by human reckoning, and realized they'd discovered something extraordinary. The station was massive, perfectly preserved, clearly beyond their technology. Shortly after, they met the Solarians, fast-talking, quick-thinking amphibians with accelerated metabolisms and even faster minds. The Asari and Solarians formed the Citadel Council, establishing it as neutral ground where species could resolve disputes without war. The Volus came next, then the Elcor, the Hana. Each species that reached space travel eventually found a mass relay and followed it to the Citadel. The council grew, but it maintained a hierarchy. The Asari, Solarians, and eventually the Turians became the council races, the ones with full political power. Everyone else were client races, members of Citadel space but without a council seat. This system worked for thousands of years. There were conflicts, sure. The Krogan rebellions nearly tore the galaxy apart, the Rachni Wars before that, but the council maintained order. Humanity didn't find a mass relay until 2148. They'd barely figured out faster than light travel on their own when they discovered Element Zero could do so much more. A mining expedition on Mars changed everything. They found a Prothean archive, not a beacon, but a cache of data that jumped human technology forward by decades. Suddenly, humanity understood mass effect fields, could build proper ships, could activate the mass relay sitting in their system. They went through it and found another relay, then another. Within 30 years, humans had established multiple colonies, explored dozens of systems, and had no idea they were about to stumble into someone else's territory. The Turians are what happened next. Think of them as the galaxy's military. After the Krogan rebellions, the Council needed a species capable of enforcing galactic law. The Turians fit perfectly. Disciplined, hierarchical, every citizen serves in the military. They became the Council's enforcers, peacekeepers, and border patrol. When they found human ships activating dormant mass relays without permission, breaking laws humanity didn't know existed, the Turians did what they do. They opened fire. The first contact war lasted 3 months. The Turians hit the human colony of Shang-Chi hard, occupied it, expected humanity to surrender. Instead, human fleets regrouped and took Shang-Chi back. The Turians were preparing for a full-scale war when the Citadel Council intervened. Turns out nobody wanted another major conflict. Peace was established. Humanity got an embassy on the Citadel. Relations with the Turians stayed icy, and the galaxy had a new player that had proven they could fight. That brings us to 2018-30, 22 years after first contact. Humanity has spread across the relay network, established dozens of colonies, built a respectable fleet. Commander Shepard is an N7, the highest rank of Special Forces operative in the Alliance military. The Normandy, humanity's most advanced stealth ship, is about to leave on a shakedown cruise with a Turian Spectre aboard. Spectres are the Council's elite agents, operatives who work above the law to protect Citadel space from threats. Neelis is there to evaluate Shepard for potential recruitment. Becoming the first human Spectre would be huge for humanity's standing in galactic politics. The mission is straightforward. Pick up a Prothean beacon from the human colony of Eden Prime. Except when they arrive, Eden Prime is burning. The distress call mentions an attack but cuts off. The Normandy's captain, David Anderson, orders the team down. Shepard, Kaiden Alenko, and Ashley Williams hit the ground to find the colony under assault by an unknown enemy. Synthetic soldiers called Geth are everywhere, killing colonists, securing the beacon. The Geth haven't been seen outside the Perseus Veil in centuries. They're a race of networked AI created by the Quarians, who then drove their creators from their homeworld. The Geth stay isolated, except now they're here, attacking a human colony with purpose. Shepard's team fights through them and finds Neelis dead. Someone shot him. As they push toward the beacon, they encounter survivors who describe something massive, a ship unlike anything they'd seen. When Shepard finally reaches the beacon, it activates. The Prothean device grabs Shepard with a mass effect field and forces a vision directly into their mind. Images of death, destruction, technology beyond comprehension. Then it explodes. Shepard collapses. The vision is fragmented, violent, impossible to fully process, but it's clearly a warning. Back on the Normandy, Shepard learns the Turian Spectre Sarin Arterius was responsible for the attack. He killed Nilus, his fellow Spectre. He's working with the Geth, and he's searching for something called the Conduit. The Council doesn't believe it at first. Sarin is one of their best agents, decorated, trusted. The idea that he'd go rogue seems impossible. But Shepard finds evidence. Audio recordings of Sarin talking about the Conduit, about the return of something he calls the Reapers. It's enough. The Council strips Saren of his Spectre status and makes Shepard the first human Spectre to hunt him down. This is where the real story begins. Shepard isn't just chasing a rogue agent. Sarin believes the Reapers are returning, that organic life will be destroyed unless someone proves that organics can be useful to them. He's indoctrinated, his mind slowly corrupted by exposure to Reaper technology. The ship witnesses saw at Eden Prime was Sovereign, a Reaper that survived the last cycle. It's been guiding Sarin, manipulating him, preparing the way for the others sleeping in dark space. Shepard needs a crew. The Normandy's pilot is Joker, best helmsman in the fleet, despite brittle bone disease that should have disqualified him. Navigator Presley handles the galaxy map. Dr. Chakwas runs the medical bay, but Shepard needs ground operatives. Garrus Vakarian is a Turian who left CSEC, the Citadel's security force, because he was tired of regulations preventing him from actually stopping criminals. He's a skilled marksman with a flexible approach to rules. Erdnot Rex is a Krogan battlemaster, centuries old, a mercenary who's seen every conflict the galaxy has to offer. The Krogan are a dying race, sterile from a biological weapon called the genophage, deployed during the Krogan rebellions. Rex carries that weight. Tali Zora-Nar Raya is a Quarian on her pilgrimage, the coming-of-age journey where young Quarians leave the migrant fleet to bring something valuable back. She has information about Sarin, about the Geth, and she's brilliant with technology despite being confined to an environmental suit her entire life. The team follows Sarin's trail to multiple worlds. Feros, where he's controlling colonists through indoctrination. Noveria, where he's breeding an army of Rachni, insectoid aliens thought extinct. Vermeer, where he's curing the genophage to build a Krogan army. Each location reveals more about his plan and about the true threat. The Reapers aren't myth. They're not ancient history. They're a cyclical extinction event. Every 50,000 years they return to harvest advanced civilizations. The Protheans were just the most recent, and before them, another civilization fell, and before that, another. This has been happening for millions of years. Sovereign isn't just a ship Sarin found, it's his master. The Reaper has been manipulating him from the start, using him to find the conduit because Sovereign needs it to access the Citadel. The Citadel is the key to everything. It's not just a station, it's a massive mass relay connected to dark space where the Reapers wait. Normally they'd use it to pour into the galaxy, but the Prothean scientists on Elos changed the Citadel's systems before they died. The relay is closed. Sovereign needs the conduit, that miniature relay the Protheans built, to get a strike team onto the Citadel and reopen it manually. Shepard learns all of this too late. By the time they reach Ilos and discover the conduit's location, Sarin has already used it. He's on the Citadel with an army of Geth. Sovereign is approaching with the full Geth fleet behind it. The Citadel is under attack. Sovereign latches onto the station like a parasite, its enormous form dwarfing the Presidium Tower. Geth pour through the wards. The Council is trapped. Defense fleets scramble, but they're not enough. Sovereign is a Reaper, 2 kilometers of sentient metal that survived for millions of years. Its barriers regenerate faster than the Turian fleet can damage them. Shepard takes the Normandy through the conduit. It's a one-way trip, a miniature relay that spits them out directly onto the Citadel. The Mako gets launched across the Presidium. Joker nearly crashes, but they're inside, and now they have a chance. The station's in chaos. Keepers are dead. Systems are failing. The arms that normally close to convert the Citadel into a relay are trying to open. If they fully extend, if Sovereign gets that signal through to dark space, thousands of Reapers will pour into the galaxy. Everything ends. Shepard fights through the Presidium. Geth are everywhere. The Council's defense forces are overwhelmed. Up ahead, Saren waits in the Council chambers. He knows Shepard is coming. Maybe part of him wants to be stopped. The conversation is brief. Saren still believes submission is survival. He argues that organics can't win against the Reapers, that cooperation is the only option. But his words are hollow. He's indoctrinated. The Reaper has hollowed him out. Even if he wanted to stop, he couldn't. Shepard can try to convince him. With enough persuasion, enough charisma, Saren realizes what's been done to him. He sees the indoctrination for what it is, and rather than let Sovereign use him further, he puts his pistol to his head and fires, or Shepard shoots him. Either way, Saren drops. But he doesn't stay down. Sovereign reanimates the corpse. Saren's body jerks upright, held together by the Reaper's will. Implants burst through his skin. Mechanical components fuse with organic tissue. He becomes something between alive and dead, a puppet with cut strings being yanked upright one more time. The fight is desperate. Saren is faster now, stronger, his body augmented beyond anything natural. He jumps across the chamber. His weapon tears through shields, but Shepard's team focuses fire. Garrus lands headshots. Rex charges in close. Tali overloads his shields. Saren falls again, this time for good. Outside, the battle is turning. The human fleet arrives. Anderson convinced the Alliance to send everything they had. Dozens of ships drop out of FTL, weapons hot. They target Sovereign, concentrate fire on a single point. Shepard has a choice. The Council is trapped on the Destiny Ascension, their flagship, surrounded by Geth. It's taking fire. Shields are failing. The ship is going to die unless someone helps. You can save them. Divert the entire fleet to protect the Ascension. Let them cut through the Geth blockade, get the Council to safety. But that means fewer ships fighting Sovereign. It means more human casualties. Or you can focus everything on Sovereign. Let the Destiny Ascension fall. The Council dies, thousands of the galaxy's leaders gone, but humanity's losses are minimized. The Reaper is the real threat. Everything else is secondary. There's no right answer. Both choices have weight. If the Council survives, they're grateful but wary. Humanity saved them, but at great cost to themselves. The galaxy sees humans as selfless, willing to sacrifice for the greater good. But the Alliance took heavy losses. Ships destroyed, crews dead. If the Council dies, humanity fills the power vacuum. A human becomes the first human counselor by default. The galaxy resents it. Earth gained power through the Council's death. Suspicion follows, but human fleets are intact. Either way, Sovereign dies. The combined fire finally cracks its barriers. Torpedoes punch through the hull. The Reaper's core detonates. The explosion tears Sovereign apart. Debris rains across the Citadel. One of the Presidium arms collapses. Thousands die in the destruction. But the relay doesn't open. The signal never gets through. The Reapers stay in dark space. The galaxy is saved for now. Shepard gets a medal. Becomes the first human Spectre officially recognized by the Council, regardless of whether the original Council survived or a new one formed. The Alliance promotes them. The galaxy knows their name. Anderson becomes Counselor in one timeline, Udina in another. The Normandy is repaired. The crew gets reassigned, but they stay together. Shepard is told to find a way to stop the Reapers permanently. Sovereign was just one. The rest are still out there. The game ends with the Normandy leaving the Citadel, heading into uncharted space. Shepard stands in the galaxy map room. Joker makes a joke. The stars stretch out ahead. Somewhere in the dark, the Reapers wait. That's where Mass Effect 1 concludes. But the universe doesn't stop. While Shepard was chasing Saren, other events were unfolding. Let's step back and talk about what makes this setting function. The mass relays are older than any known civilization. The Protheans didn't build them. Neither did the race before them. The relays have existed for millions of years, perfectly maintained, never degrading. They form a network across the galaxy, connecting clusters that would otherwise take centuries to reach. Each relay is paired with one other. Primary relays can send ships to any other primary relay in range. Secondary relays only connect to their partner. The relays use mass effect fields to move ships instantaneously across thousands of light years. No other technology comes close to matching their range. The Citadel is the heart of the network. Every relay connects to it somehow, directly or through chains. When the Reapers designed this system, they created a trap. The relays guide organic civilizations along specific paths. Development becomes predictable. Technology advances in predetermined directions. When the harvest comes, the Reapers know exactly where everyone will be. But organic civilizations don't know this. To them, the relays are a gift. Whoever built them is long gone. The current cycle assumes the Protheans created everything, that these were the tools of their empire. Only a few people suspect the truth. The mass effect itself is the fundamental force that makes the technology work. Element 0, ESO, generates mass effect fields when subjected to electrical current. Positive current increases mass. Negative current decreases it. This violates physics as we understand it. But in the Mass Effect universe, it's how faster than light travel works. Ships use ESO cores to reduce their mass to near zero, then accelerate to FTL speeds without infinite energy requirements. They're not actually moving faster than light in a traditional sense. They're reducing their mass, so the light speed barrier doesn't apply the same way. Kinetic barriers work the same way. Mass effect fields deflect incoming projectiles by increasing their mass exponentially right before impact. A bullet hits the field, suddenly weighs 10,000 times more than it should, loses velocity and deflects. Shields don't stop energy weapons as effectively, which is why most combat involves both bullets and lasers. Biotics are individuals who can generate mass effect fields naturally. ESO exposure in utero, usually from FTL drive leaks or industrial accidents, causes nodules to form in the nervous system. With training, biotics can manipulate these fields consciously. They can throw enemies across rooms, create barriers, lift objects without touching them. Human biotics are rare and often mistrusted. The process that creates them isn't well understood. Early attempts to train them used faulty implants that caused brain damage. Jack, who you meet in Mass Effect 2, is the result of Cerberus trying to create the most powerful human biotic possible through childhood experimentation. Asari biotics are common. Their entire species has natural ESO exposure. Every Asari can use biotics to some degree. It's part of their culture, their military tactics, their art. They live for 1,000 years and spend centuries mastering biotic techniques humans barely understand. The galactic economy runs on ESO. It's the most valuable resource in known space. Planets with ESO deposits become corporate battlegrounds. Mining rights spark conflicts. The element is rare enough that controlling even a small supply means wealth and power. Humanity discovered ESO on Mars in 2148. The Prothean ruins there contained data archives that jump-started human technology by decades. Within 30 years, humans went from planet-bound to colonizing dozens of systems. The other species watched nervously. Humans were expanding too fast, claiming territory, pushing boundaries. First contact happened in 2157. Human explorers activated a dormant mass relay, without knowing the law against doing so. Opening unknown relays is illegal. The Rachni were found that way centuries earlier, sparking a war that nearly destroyed the galaxy. The Turians enforced relay laws aggressively. When humans activated Relay 314, a Turian patrol fleet was waiting on the other side. They saw a species violating galactic law and opened fire immediately. No warnings, no negotiation. They destroyed the human ships, then followed the nav data back to the colony of Shang-Chi and invaded. The First Contact War lasted 3 months. Turians occupied Shang-Chi. The Alliance rallied, sent fleets, retook the colony. Both sides prepared for escalation. Then the Council stepped in and brokered peace. Turians withdrew. Humans got an embassy. The war ended before it really began, but the resentment lingered. Turians see humans as aggressive and unpredictable. Humans see Turians as militaristic bullies. Garrus represents the exception, a Turian who respects human tenacity, but most of his species still views humanity as dangerous newcomers who don't understand how the galaxy works. The genophage is the galaxy's darkest secret. 1,000 years ago, the Rachni Wars ended. The Krogan were uplifted by the Solarians to fight the Rachni. They were perfect soldiers, tough, redundant organs, rapid breeding. They saved the galaxy. Then they wanted payment. The Krogan began claiming worlds, colonizing aggressively. The Council offered planets, but the Krogan wanted more. Tensions escalated. The Krogan rebellions began. For decades, Krogan armies fought Council forces. The Krogan were winning through sheer numbers. Females could have 1,000 children in their lifetime. The Solarians created the genophage, a biological weapon that altered Krogan fertility. Suddenly, only 1 in 1,000 pregnancies resulted in live birth. The Krogan population collapsed. Their military strength evaporated. The rebellions ended. The Turians deployed the genophage. They were the ones who spread it across Krogan worlds, who turned a weapon into a solution. The Krogan have never forgiven them. Rex carries this history. He's seen his species decline for centuries, watched clans fight over the few fertile females, seen Krogan reduced to mercenaries because there's no future worth building. His loyalty to Shepard is earned through respect, but his hatred for the Council species runs deep. The Quarians lost their homeworld 300 years ago. They created the Geth, synthetic servants designed for manual labor. The Geth were networked AI, sharing processing power, becoming smarter as more units connected. Then the Geth asked a question. Does this unit have a soul? The Quarians panicked. Sentient AI is illegal. The Geth were showing signs of true consciousness. The Quarians tried to shut them down, to destroy them before the Council found out. The Geth fought back. What started as self-defense became a war. The Geth won. They drove the Quarians off Rannoch, their homeworld, and claimed it for themselves. Now the Quarians live on the migrant fleet, 50,000 ships holding 17 million people. They wear environmental suits because their immune systems weakened over generations in sterile ship environments. They're the galaxy's refugees, unwelcome in most ports, blamed for creating the Geth. Tali represents the Quarian determination to survive. Her pilgrimage is about proving value, about bringing something back to the fleet that justifies the resources spent raising her. She's young, brilliant, and carrying the weight of her entire species' mistakes. Human AI research is illegal, but continues in secret. Cerberus experiments with it. The Alliance studies captured Geth. Everyone wants the advantage AI could provide, but everyone remembers what happened to the Quarians. The Geth stayed beyond the Perseus Veil for 3 centuries. They never attacked, never expanded. They just existed in isolation until Saren offered them a future. He showed them the Reapers, convinced them that organic life would always try to destroy synthetics. The Geth followed him because they believed the Reapers offered the only path to survival. Human AI research is illegal but continues in secret. Human AI research is illegal but continues in secret. Cerberus experiments with it. The Alliance studies captured Geth. Everyone wants the advantage AI could provide, but everyone remembers what happened to the Quarians. The Geth stayed beyond the Perseus Veil for 3 centuries. They never attacked, never expanded. They just existed in isolation until Saren offered them a future. He showed them the Reapers, convinced them that organic life would always try to destroy synthetics. The Geth followed him because they believed the Reapers offered the only path to survival. Not all Geth agreed, some rejected Saren's logic. These heretics split from the main consensus, following Sovereign instead of their own collective reasoning. The majority of Geth remained neutral, watching from beyond the veil, waiting to see what organics would do next. Shepard's mission to stop Saren isn't just about preventing one rogue spectre, it's about stopping the return of the Reapers, machines that harvest advanced civilizations every 50,000 years. The Protheans weren't the first, they were just the most recent. The Reapers built the mass relays, they built the Citadel. The entire galactic infrastructure is Reaper technology, designed to guide organic civilizations down predictable paths. When a species reaches a certain level of advancement, the Reapers return. They harvest everything, preserving genetic material and cultural knowledge inside themselves, then retreat to dark space until the next cycle begins. Sovereign is a Reaper, not a Geth ship commanded by Saren, but an actual Reaper, 2 kilometers long, older than recorded history. It's been waiting in dark space for millennia, unable to trigger the Citadel relay that would bring the full Reaper fleet through. The signal is blocked. Something the Protheans did in their final moments disrupted the cycle. Saren found Sovereign on a dead world. Or maybe Sovereign found Saren. The indoctrination process is subtle. It doesn't feel like control. It feels like clarity, like suddenly understanding truths that were always there. Saren believes he's working with Sovereign as an equal, that he can prove organic life has value by helping the Reapers. He thinks he's saving everyone through submission. He's wrong. Indoctrination is irreversible once it reaches a certain point. Saren stopped being himself months ago. The thoughts he thinks are Sovereign's thoughts filtered through his mind. He's a tool, Nothing more, and he doesn't even realize it. Shepard's team follows Saren's trail across the galaxy. Every lead points to something worse. Saren is searching for the conduit, a Prothean artifact mentioned in ancient texts. Nobody knows what it is. Most scholars think it's metaphorical. Saren knows it's real. The investigation leads to Pharos, a colony built on Prothean ruins. The Thorian, an ancient plant creature with telepathic abilities, has controlled the colonists for months. It absorbed a Prothean observer 50,000 years ago, still holds those memories. Saren came here looking for information about the conduit. The Thorian couldn't help him but tried to stop Shepard with mind-controlled colonists. Destroying the Thorian frees the colonists but provides few answers. The cipher, a Prothean method of processing information, is transferred to Shepard through an Asari who was connected to the Thorian. It doesn't reveal the conduit's location, just makes Prothean data comprehensible when Shepard finds it. Noveria holds more pieces. Matriarch Benezia, Saren's ally and Liara's mother, is conducting experiments on a Rashni queen. The Rashni were supposed to be extinct, wiped out during the Rashni Wars. Benezia found the last queen, is trying to breed an army for Saren. She's also indoctrinated, fighting the control but losing. Shepard confronts Benezia in the labs. She breaks through the indoctrination long enough to warn Shepard, to explain that Saren is searching for another Prothean beacon. The location is on Vermeer. Then the indoctrination reasserts control and the fight resumes. Benezia dies still partially aware, knowing what's been done to her, unable to stop it. The Rashni queen is different. She's not indoctrinated. She's a prisoner, forced to breed soldiers she doesn't want. The Rashni of the past weren't monsters by choice. They were indoctrinated by the Reapers, turned into weapons during the last cycle. This queen remembers the songs of her ancestors before the corruption. She promises her children will be different if Shepard releases her. It's a choice with no right answer. Release her and maybe the Rashni return peacefully. Maybe they become a threat again. Kill her and ensure the Rashni stay extinct, removing any possibility of another war. Shepard decides the consequences won't be clear for years. Vermeer is where everything comes together. Saren has a base here, protected by Geth and Krogan. He's breeding Krogan, trying to cure the genophage with Reaper technology. Rex discovers this. For a moment he considers stopping Shepard. This could save his species. The Krogan could have a future again. But Saren's cure isn't freedom, it's control. The Krogan would become indoctrinated slaves, another army for the Reapers. Rex sees it, understands that this isn't salvation. He stays loyal to Shepard. Some players don't have the conversation options to convince him. In those playthroughs, Rex dies on Vermeer, shot by Ashley when he won't stand down. The base has a nuclear device. Karai's STG team is running interference, keeping Saren's forces distracted while Shepard's squad plants the bomb. The mission goes wrong. Saren arrives with Geth reinforcements. Sovereign appears in orbit. The squad splits to cover more ground. Ashley is pinned down at the bomb site. Kaidan is defending the Solarian platoon. The bomb is armed and counting down. Shepard can only save one position. The other gets overrun. Either Ashley or Kaidan dies in the explosion. There's no way to save both. The survivor carries guilt over it for the rest of their life. Shepard confronts Saren before the base explodes. This is the first real conversation with him, the first time his motivations are laid out clearly. He believes the Reapers can't be stopped. Organic civilizations always lose. The only way to survive is to prove usefulness, to make the Reapers see value in preserving some organics as servants. Sovereign speaks through Saren. Its voice is ancient, contemptuous. Organics are temporary. The Reapers are eternal. You exist because we allow it. You will end because we demand it. There's no negotiation, no appeal to mercy. The Reapers don't hate organic life. They're simply following their nature, harvesting civilizations like farmers harvest crops. Shepard escapes Vermeer with evidence that Sovereign is a Reaper, that the invasion is imminent. The Council doesn't believe it. Saren is a rogue spectre with a powerful ship. That's the official explanation. Reapers are a myth. The Protheans died in a civil war. Mass extinction events don't happen. They're wrong, but they can't accept the truth. Accepting it means acknowledging that the entire galactic civilization is built on Reaper technology, that they're living in a trap set 50,000 years ago. The Council chooses comfortable lies over terrifying truth. Shepard is grounded. The Normandy is docked pending investigation. Anderson is removed as captain. The council wants to handle Saren quietly, politically. Shepard's methods are too aggressive, too public. The galaxy doesn't need panic. It needs stability. Udina tries to use the situation politically. He pushes for humanity's council seat, arguing that humans solved the Saren problem while the council delayed. It's not about saving the galaxy. It's about human advancement. Shepard is a tool for political leverage, but Anderson and Shepard have allies. Ambassador Udina can be bypassed. Captain Anderson still has contacts, and there's evidence that Saren is heading for Elos, an uncharted world with Prothean ruins. The conduit is there. Whatever Saren's planning, it happens on Elos. The Normandy breaks dock without authorization. It's mutiny, technically. Shepard is stealing an Alliance warship, taking it into unexplored space on a hunch. Joker flies. The crew follows. They believe Shepard over the council. Elos is beautiful and dead. Prothean architecture covers the entire planet. Vast cities that have been empty for 50 millennia. The preservation is perfect. No decay. No weather damage. It's like the Protheans just vanished mid-task, leaving everything exactly as it was. They didn't vanish. They were harvested. The Reapers came through the Citadel relay, appeared at the heart of galactic civilization without warning. The Protheans couldn't organize a defense. Their government was on the Citadel. Their leadership died in the first hours. The remaining Protheans fought for centuries, but they were scattered, cut off, dying slowly on isolated worlds. Vigil, a Prothean 6, is still active on Elos. It's been waiting 50,000 years for someone to arrive, for someone who could use the information it holds. The conduit isn't a weapon or a ship. It's a one-way mass relay, a prototype the Protheans built, linking Elos directly to the Citadel. Saren found it. He's taking his army through right now, bypassing the Citadel's defenses by arriving inside the station. The relay can only send, can't receive. Shepard's team has one chance to follow before the conduit closes permanently. The Mako drives through Prothean ruins at full speed. Geth are everywhere trying to stop Shepard from reaching the relay. The conduit activates, a vertical stream of energy. Saren's ship disappears into it. Shepard drives the Mako straight in without hesitating. The transition is instant. One moment on Elos, the next inside the Citadel. But something's wrong. The Citadel is under attack. Geth are in the Presidium. The Council is trapped in their chambers. Sovereign is attached to the Citadel's exterior, physically connected to the station. The Keepers, those insect-like creatures that maintain the Citadel, were supposed to activate the relay signal when Sovereign arrived. The Protheans changed their programming in their final act, their last desperate attempt to break the cycle. The Keepers ignored Sovereign's signal. The relay didn't activate. Saren had to use the conduit as a backup plan. He's heading for the Council chambers. Sovereign needs manual access to the Citadel's controls. Saren will open the relay from inside. The Reaper fleet is waiting in dark space. Once that relay opens, the harvest begins. Every species in the galaxy will face extinction. The Citadel is chaos. Civilians are evacuating. C-Sec is fighting Geth in every ward. The Destiny Ascension, the Asari flagship carrying the Council, is taking fire from Geth ships. Alliance fleets are approaching, but they're still minutes away. Shepard's squad fights through the Presidium. Saren is already in the Council chambers, already accessing the controls. He's more machine than organic now. Sovereign's technology is integrated into his body. Cybernetics cover most of his flesh. His eyes are glowing. He barely looks Turian anymore. The final confrontation isn't about combat skill. It's about breaking indoctrination, about making Saren see what's been done to him. Shepard can talk him down, can show him evidence that he's being controlled. Saren fights it. The indoctrination is too deep, but for a moment he breaks through, realizes what he's become. He puts his pistol to his head and fires. It's the only choice he has left, the only way to stop himself from opening the relay. His body falls. Sovereign screams, a sound that vibrates through the Citadel's hull. The Reaper is losing its tool, losing its access point. Then Saren's body starts moving again. Sovereign isn't done with him. The cybernetics activate, puppeting the corpse. Saren rises, transformed into something that's more machine than corpse. This is what indoctrination leads to. This is what the Reapers do. They use you until there's nothing left, then they use what remains. The fight against Saren's reanimated corpse is brutal. His body moves wrong, jerky and unnatural like a puppet with tangled strings. Sovereign controls him through cybernetics, through implants and synthetic tissue. Every movement is wrong. Arms bend at angles that shouldn't work. The head turns too far. This isn't resurrection, it's violation. The squad spreads out across the council chamber. Cover is scattered, decorative pillars designed for aesthetics rather than combat. Saren's body attacks with weapons integrated into the cybernetics. Rockets fire from shoulder mounts. Energy shields flicker around the corpse. Sovereign isn't letting go easily. This body represents the last direct connection to the Citadel's systems. The battle destroys the chamber. Centuries-old architecture crumbles. Windows shatter outward into space. Emergency bulkheads start closing automatically, trying to contain the breach. The squad has to finish this before they're sealed inside, before the chamber becomes a tomb. Saren's corpse finally stops moving. The cybernetics spark and die. Sovereign's direct control is severed, but the Reaper isn't done. It's still attached to the Citadel's exterior, still trying to access the relay through external systems. The Keepers might have ignored the automated signal, but Sovereign can force the relay open manually if given enough time. Outside the Citadel, the battle is escalating. The Destiny Ascension is taking critical damage. The Council is aboard that ship. If it goes down, galactic leadership dies with it. Alliance fleets have arrived, but they're outnumbered. Geth ships swarm around Sovereign. The Reaper isn't just coordinating the attack, it's destroying everything in range. Hackett contacts Shepard. The Alliance fleet can save the Ascension, or they can focus fire on Sovereign. They can't do both. Not enough ships. Not enough time. The Council or the Reaper. Shepard has to choose. Saving the Council means risking Sovereign's escape. If the Reaper breaks free, if it reaches the relay, the entire fleet will be needed to stop it. Alliance ships will take heavy casualties protecting the Asari flagship. Human lives traded for Council lives. Focusing on Sovereign means abandoning the Ascension. The Council dies, but the Reaper dies too. The fleet concentrates all firepower on one target. Sovereign can't survive that kind of assault. The immediate threat ends here. There's no right answer. Both choices have consequences that ripple through the entire galaxy. Shepard makes the call. The fleet responds immediately. If Shepard saves the Council, Alliance ships break formation and intercept fire meant for the Ascension. Cruisers take hits that would have destroyed the flagship. Human crews die to shield alien leadership. The Ascension limps away, its hull breached in dozens of places but intact. The Council survives. If Shepard focuses on Sovereign, the Alliance fleet ignores the Ascension's distress signals and converges on the Reaper. Every ship fires simultaneously. Torpedoes, mass accelerators, everything. The Destiny Ascension explodes in the background. The Council dies, but Sovereign's barriers collapse under sustained fire. Either way, Sovereign realizes it's losing. The Reaper detaches from the Citadel and tries to retreat. Too late. The fleet has it surrounded. Normandy makes the final approach, targeting Sovereign's weak points, the areas where Nazara integrated itself with Geth technology, where organic and synthetic meet. Those junctions are vulnerable. Shepard's squad fires from inside the Citadel. External weapons fire from the fleet. Sovereign's barriers fail completely. The hull cracks. Something inside the Reaper detonates, a chain reaction spreading through its entire structure. The explosion is massive. Sovereign's corpse breaks apart, debris scattering across local space. Pieces of the Reaper crash into the Citadel's wards. The Geth fleet stops moving, every ship simultaneously. Sovereign was their hub, their central intelligence. Without it, they're just machines following corrupted programming. Some self-destruct, others drift. The heretic Geth lose cohesion. The battle is over. The Citadel is saved but damaged. Wards are breached. Thousands are dead. The Presidium is in ruins. It'll take months to repair. But the relay didn't activate. The Reaper fleet is still trapped in dark space. The harvest didn't begin. Humanity becomes the focus of galactic attention. The Alliance fleet saved the Citadel. Human ships, human soldiers, human sacrifice. The Council can't ignore that. They can't dismiss humanity anymore. The question becomes how much political power humanity deserves, how much voice in galactic affairs. If the Council survived, they're grateful but cautious. They offer humanity an embassy, a permanent seat on the Citadel, not Council membership, but significant influence. They acknowledge humanity's contribution without fundamentally changing the power structure. If the council died, everything changes. New leadership must be appointed. The Osari, Turians, and Solarians nominate replacements from their own species, but humanity argues they've earned representation. The Alliance saved the Citadel. They stopped Sovereign. They deserve a voice. The new council includes a human representative. Humanity gains a seat at the table, equal standing with the founding species. Both outcomes reshape galactic politics. Humanity transitions from newcomers to major players. The Systems Alliance gains legitimacy it's been fighting for. Earth becomes strategically important, not just another colony world. Shepard becomes the first human Spectre regardless of the Council's fate. It's not just recognition, it's a political statement. Humanity is capable. Humanity is trusted. One human represents everything the Alliance wants the galaxy to see. But Shepard's warnings about the Reapers are dismissed. The Council saw Sovereign. They watched a Reaper die. They acknowledge that much. But they won't accept the cycle, won't believe in a harvest that repeats every 50,000 years. Sovereign was one ship, dangerous but singular. The idea of an entire fleet, of countless Reapers waiting in dark space, is too massive to accept. The official story becomes manageable. Sovereign was a rogue Reaper, possibly the last of its kind. Saren was indoctrinated, but he's dead now. The Geth were following corrupted programming. The threat is contained. The galaxy can return to normal. This narrative is comfortable. It doesn't require fundamental changes to how civilization operates. Shepard knows better. Sovereign wasn't alone. The Reapers are coming. The cycle continues. The Protheans delayed it, broke one step in the harvest process. But they didn't stop it. The Reapers are patient. They've been doing this for millions of years. One setback won't stop them. The evidence is buried. Vigil's testimony comes from an ancient VE on a lost world. The Council dismisses it as corrupted data. The visions Shepard experienced on Eden Prime are subjective, possibly fabricated by Prothean technology. The Mu relay exists, but it's been dormant for millennia. No proof that anything's on the other side. Shepard has to prepare without official support. The Alliance believes the warning, but they can't act overtly. Not without Council approval. Not without solid evidence. So preparation happens quietly, fleets are reinforced, defenses are upgraded, weapons research accelerates, all under the justification of preventing another Geth attack. The Normandy is rebuilt. Officially, it's a replacement for the ship destroyed during Sovereign's attack. Unofficially, it's preparation for what's coming. The new Normandy is larger, better armed, designed for extended operations beyond Council space. Shepard's team scatters. Garrus returns to Palaven briefly before disappearing. Tali goes back to the migrant fleet with data about the Geth. Rex heads to Tushanka to unite the Krogan clans. Liara continues her research into Prothean technology, looking for anything that might help against the Reapers. Everyone knows this isn't over. The cycle's pattern becomes clearer with research. The Reapers don't attack randomly. They target spacefaring civilizations that reach a specific technological threshold. Mass relay technology is the trigger. Once a species masters relay travel, once they spread across multiple systems, they're added to the harvest list. The Citadel itself is a trap, an ancient space station positioned at the heart of relay networks. Every cycle, new species discover it, make it their capital, build their civilizations around it. They never question why it's there, why it's perfectly suited for organic life. The Reapers built it. They want species centralized, want them dependent on relay travel, want them clustered at the Citadel when harvest time comes. The mass relays are Reaper technology. Every species uses them without understanding how they work. The relays are sealed, impossible to reverse engineer. You use them, but you can't study them. They dictate how civilizations expand, which paths they take through the galaxy. The Reapers control the board, control the pieces. The Keepers maintain the Citadel, but nobody knows where they came from. They appeared with the station. They're not synthetic, not organic either, something in between. They respond to no communication attempts. They just work, endlessly maintaining systems nobody fully understands. The Protheans figured it out too late. They studied the Keepers, discovered the indoctrination programming. They changed it in their final years, knowing they were doomed but hoping to save the next cycle. That modification saved this cycle. The Keepers ignored Sovereign's signal. The Citadel relay didn't activate automatically, but the Reapers will adapt. Next time they'll account for Keeper reprogramming. Next time, they'll have backup systems. The Protheans bought one cycle of warning, that's all. Shepard has maybe 3 years. That's the best estimate for when the Reapers will return. 3 years to convince the Council they're real. 3 years to prepare the galaxy for a war against extinction. 3 years to find a weakness that can actually kill a Reaper permanently. Not just one ship, but an entire fleet. Sovereign died, but only because the entire Citadel fleet concentrated fire. Only because it was isolated, caught before reinforcements arrived. The Reapers won't make that mistake. They'll arrive in force. They'll have numbers. One Reaper nearly destroyed galactic civilization. What happens when hundreds arrive? The harvest follows a pattern. The Reapers arrive through the Citadel relay, emerging directly at the galaxy's political and economic heart. They decapitate leadership immediately. The Council dies, communication networks collapse, coordination becomes impossible. Individual species fight alone, isolated, unable to mount unified resistance. Then the Reapers spread. They target population centers, industrial worlds, military installations. They don't occupy territory. They harvest. They process organic life into raw material, into genetic code, into data. Every species that reaches the stars becomes raw material for new Reapers. The harvest isn't random destruction, it's selective. The Reapers preserve species in their own way. Each new Reaper is built from a harvested civilization, their genetics and culture encoded into Reaper form. It's synthetic immortality. The species ends, but the Reaper continues, carrying that civilization's legacy forward. The Reapers see themselves as preserving life, protecting it from the inevitable conflicts between organic and synthetic intelligence. They harvest advanced organic civilizations before they create AI that will destroy them. It's a twisted form of salvation, but it's still genocide. Trillions die every cycle. Civilizations that took millennia to build are erased in years. Art, culture, history, everything that makes a species unique, reduced to genetic data stored in a Reaper's core. Shepard understands the scale now. This isn't a war that can be won through conventional tactics. The Reapers are too advanced, too numerous, too patient. They've been perfecting harvest methodology for millions of years. Every cycle teaches them something new. Every civilization's resistance is studied and countered in the next harvest. The only advantage this cycle has is warning. The Protheans didn't know what was coming until it arrived. This cycle knows. Shepard knows. The question is whether knowing is enough, whether 3 years of preparation can overcome millions of years of Reaper experience. The galaxy isn't ready. Most species don't believe the threat is real. Those who do believe don't understand the scale. They think it's manageable, something that can be handled through normal military response. They don't grasp that the Reapers have destroyed thousands of civilizations, that every tactic, every strategy, every defense has been seen and overcome before. Shepard's mission becomes clear. Find allies who understand. Build resources outside official channels. Search for anything the Protheans left behind, any weapon or technology that might actually hurt the Reapers. Prepare for a war the galaxy doesn't believe is coming. The Collectors emerge as the first sign that time is running out. Ships vanish in the terminus systems. Entire colonies go silent. Not unusual in lawless space where pirate raids and slaver attacks happen constantly. But the pattern is different. These disappearances are too clean, too complete. No survivors, no distress calls, no wreckage. Entire populations just gone, as if they never existed. Human colonies are primary targets. Small settlements, barely established, populations in the thousands, remote enough that disappearances aren't noticed immediately. By the time authorities investigate, there's nothing left. Buildings stand empty, power still running, food half-eaten on tables, but every person gone without a trace. The Alliance investigates but finds nothing. No evidence of struggle, no signs of forced entry, no biological or chemical weapon signatures. People simply cease to exist. The pattern suggests coordination, precision, technology far beyond anything pirates or slavers possess. Shepard receives intelligence through unofficial channels. The elusive man, leader of Cerberus, a pro-human organization operating in legal grey areas, contacts them directly. Cerberus has resources the Alliance lacks, agents in places official military can't operate, intelligence networks spanning the galaxy. They've been tracking the disappearances. They know what's happening. The Collectors are taking humans, These insectoid beings from beyond the Omega-4 relay, entities that supposedly trade in rare goods and genetic material, are conducting mass abductions, targeting human colonies specifically, taking entire populations for purposes unknown. Cerberus proposes an alliance. They'll fund Shepard's mission, provide resources, rebuild the Normandy, assemble a team capable of passing through the Omega-4 relay and confronting the Collectors directly. The Alliance won't act. The Council dismisses the disappearances as random attacks. Official channels move too slowly. Cerberus offers immediate action. Shepard faces a choice. Trust an organization known for ruthless methods and human supremacist ideology, or watch more colonies disappear while bureaucracy debates. The decision isn't easy. Cerberus has committed atrocities in the name of human advancement. They've conducted illegal experiments, violated sapient rights, pursued goals that crossed every ethical line. But they're also the only organization taking the collector threat seriously, the only one willing to act immediately. The rebuilt Normandy SR-2 represents everything learned from the first ship's destruction. Improved shields, better weapons, advanced stealth systems. Cerberus spared no expense. The ship is a masterpiece, possibly the most advanced vessel in the galaxy. But it flies under Cerberus colors. Every decision Shepard makes now carries that association. The team assembles from across the galaxy, each member recruited for specific skills needed for a suicide mission. Combat specialists, tech experts, biotics, infiltration specialists. Some are old allies from the fight against Saren. Others are new faces with their own reasons for joining. A Krogan warlord seeking redemption. An assassin bound by honor. A Justicar following her code. A Geth platform that chose individuality over collective consciousness. Each recruitment mission reveals more about the galaxy's state. The Genophage still sterilizes Krogan species. The Quarians still wander in exile. The Asari still mediate conflicts while pursuing their own interests. The Turians maintain military readiness. The Solarians conduct intelligence operations. Nothing has fundamentally changed since Sovereign's defeat. The galaxy continues as it always has, species pursuing their own interests, old grievances simmering, cooperation limited to mutual benefit. But the Collectors represent something different. Their abductions target humans exclusively. Dozens of colonies hit, hundreds of thousands missing. The scale suggests purpose beyond simple slavers. They need humans specifically, need them in massive quantities. For what? The answer connects to the Reapers. The Collectors aren't independent actors. They serve something larger. Every abduction, every human taken, feeds into Reaper plans. The harvest is beginning. Not the full-scale invasion, not yet. But preparation, testing, gathering raw material. Intelligence reveals the Collector's true nature. They aren't a mysterious species from beyond known space. They're Protheans, the same civilization that built the archives, that left warnings, that tried to stop the Reapers 50,000 years ago. The Reapers didn't just harvest them, they transformed survivors into tools. Genetic modification, indoctrination, centuries of conditioning turned proud Protheans into insectoid slaves. The Collectors are what remains of that once great civilization, stripped of culture and identity, serving the very force that destroyed them. This revelation carries implications. If the Reapers could do this to the Protheans, they can do it to any species. The harvest isn't just extinction, it's transformation. Some are killed, others are preserved. The lucky ones die. The unlucky become tools for the next cycle's harvest. The Collectors demonstrate what awaits species that survive initial Reaper contact. Eternal servitude, genetic slavery, everything that made them sapient stripped away until only biological machines remain. The Omega-4 relay sits at the galaxy's edge. No ship that passes through returns. It's considered a death sentence. Scans show it functions differently than standard relays. It doesn't connect to the relay network. Instead, it creates a point-to-point connection to a single destination. Wherever it leads, there's no mapped return path. The Collectors use it freely. Their ships pass through and return regularly. They possess navigation data or technology that allows safe transit. Without it, any ship attempting passage would be destroyed by the debris field on the other side, or lost in uncharted space, or simply torn apart by transit stress. Shepard's team gathers intelligence. They intercept Collector ships, recover technology, analyze their methods. Each colony attack follows the same pattern. The collector ship arrives in orbit. Seeker swarms deploy, paralyzing colonists with stings that induce coma-like states. Collector troops land and load unconscious victims onto their ship. The entire operation takes hours. By the time help could arrive, they're already through the Omega-4 relay. One attack is interrupted. Shepard arrives during an abduction in progress. The colony is called Horizon. It's being hit right now. This is the first chance to actually fight collectors, to disrupt their operation, to save people before they're taken. The battle reveals collector capabilities. Their weapons fire particle beams that strip shields and barriers instantly. Their troops coordinate with hive mind precision. Seeker swarms make fighting almost impossible, paralyzing anyone exposed. And they have Harbinger. Harbinger is a Reaper, not physically present but controlling collector troops remotely. It possesses individual soldiers taking direct control, speaking through them. Its voice is ancient, patient, certain. It doesn't threaten, it states facts. Resistance is futile, ascension is inevitable. Humanity will be harvested. The collectors are just tools. Harbinger is the real threat, a Reaper directing operations personally, taking interest in Shepard specifically. The colony is saved, but barely. Casualties are significant. Many colonists were already loaded onto the collector ship before Shepard arrived. Those people are gone, but hundreds survive who wouldn't have otherwise. It's a partial victory. The collectors retreat, but they'll be back. More colonies will be hit. The abductions will continue until someone stops them at the source. The decision is made. Shepard's team will pass through the Omega-4 relay. They'll find the collector base. They'll destroy it and end the abductions permanently. It's a suicide mission. No one expects to survive. But it's necessary. The alternative is watching humanity get harvested one colony at a time. Preparation takes months. The ship needs upgrades. Heavy shields, reinforced hull, upgraded weapon systems. The team needs equipment. Specialized weapons, armor, tools for every contingency. And they need the Reaper IFF, identification friend or foe technology, that will let them pass through the Omega-4 relay safely. A derelict Reaper is located, floating dead in space, killed somehow during the last cycle. Its IFF system is still functional. Retrieving it means boarding a Reaper, walking through its corpse, taking technology from something designed to harvest organic life. The mission is dangerous. The Reaper is dead but not empty. Husks patrol its corridors, indoctrinated victims from the last cycle, transformed into synthetic zombies, still defending their dead god. The team fights through. They reach the core, retrieve the IFF, escape before the derelict systems fail completely. But they bring something else back, a Geth platform, different from others encountered before. This one has true intelligence, individual thought. It was studying the Reaper, trying to understand them. It chooses to help Shepard, provides intelligence about Reaper systems, becomes part of the team despite being Geth, despite the history between Geth and organics. Installation of the Reaper, IFF triggers unexpected consequences. The technology is active, still partially functional. It sends a signal. The collectors detect it. They trace the source. While most of the team is away on a mission, the collectors board the Normandy. They're after Shepard specifically. Harbinger wants them. The crew fights, but they're outmatched. Collectors overwhelm security. They take everyone. The ship's pilot, the engineers, the support staff. Everyone not on Shepard's team is captured and loaded onto the collector ship. When Shepard returns, the Normandy is empty. Blood in the corridors, signs of struggle everywhere, but no bodies, just evidence of abduction. The collectors have the crew. They're being taken to the collector base right now. Time is up. The mission can't wait. Shepard launches immediately, through the Omega-4 relay, into unknown space, toward whatever the collectors built at the galaxy's edge. The transit is violent. The relay connects to the galactic core, a region so dense with stars and debris that conventional travel is impossible. The collector base orbits a black hole, protected by an artificial debris field that destroys any ship attempting approach. Millions of wrecked vessels from thousands of species form a graveyard around the base. Every ship that tried to follow the collectors ended here. The Normandy's upgrades make the difference. Reinforced hull withstands impacts that would shatter normal vessels. Upgraded shields deflect particle beams. Advanced weapons destroy collector ships that intercept. The approach is brutal but survivable. The ship reaches the base damaged but intact. The base itself is biological, grown rather than built. A massive structure fused to an asteroid, surrounded by processing tubes and organic machinery. This is where abducted colonists are brought, where humans are taken, where the harvest's first stage occurs. The team infiltrates, fighting through collector drones and Harbinger's possessed troops. The base's interior is nightmare architecture. Organic walls pulse with unnatural life. Tubes carry unconscious humans toward the core. Thousands of colonists suspended in preservation pods, waiting for processing. They're building something, using human genetic material to construct a new Reaper. A human Reaper. The colonists aren't being harvested individually. They're raw material. Millions of humans processed and liquefied, their genetic code extracted and used to grow something massive at the base's center. A Reaper in early construction stages. Skeletal metal frame surrounded by organic material. Human DNA encoded into its structure. This is how Reapers are made. Each one is built from a harvested species. The collectors serve as construction workers. Harbinger directs the process. The human Reaper represents this cycle's contribution. If completed, it will join the Reaper fleet when the full harvest begins. The revelation is horrifying on every level. The Reapers don't just kill civilizations, they transform them. Each Reaper carries genetic memory of the species that built it. Sovereign was made from some ancient race, Harbinger from another. The human Reaper would be humanity's legacy. Everything humans accomplished, everything they could become, encoded into a machine designed to harvest the next cycle. It's perverted immortality. The species ends, but the Reaper continues, carrying humanity forward in the worst possible way. Shepard makes the call. Destroy everything. The human Reaper, the base, the collectors, end this operation permanently. The elusive man wants the technology preserved, wants to study Reaper construction, claims humanity could learn from it, use it against them. But Shepard refuses. Nothing here should exist. Nothing should be preserved. The only acceptable outcome is complete destruction. The team plants explosives, sets overload sequences, awakens the incomplete human Reaper to prevent preservation. The resulting battle is desperate. The Reaper fights despite being unfinished. Its systems are active enough to defend itself. Harbinger possesses troops continuously. The entire base mobilizes against them, but the team holds. They fight through everything the collectors throw at them. They damage the Reaper enough that it can't be salvaged. They trigger the base's destruction. The escape is chaotic. Explosions tear through organic structure. The base collapses into itself. The Normandy extracts the team moments before total destruction. They watch from safe distance as the collector base implodes, taking the human Reaper and all collector technology with it. The threat is ended. The abductions will stop. Humanity won't be processed into Reaper material. Not yet. But this is just one battle. The Reapers are still coming. The collectors are gone, their base destroyed, the human Reaper torn apart before completion, thousands of colonists rescued, returned to Alliance space, reunited with families who thought they were dead. It's a victory, a real one, but it doesn't feel complete, because everyone knows what comes next. The Reapers are still coming. This wasn't the main invasion. This was preparation, a scouting operation. The real threat remains beyond the galaxy's edge, waiting for the right moment to return. And that moment is approaching faster than anyone realizes. The galaxy doesn't know what Shepard knows. They didn't see the vision from the Prothean beacon, didn't experience the cipher, didn't witness the human Reaper being constructed. Most still don't believe the Reapers exist. They think Sovereign was a Geth weapon, an isolated threat. The Council rebuilt after the attack but learned nothing from it. They're more concerned with maintaining stability than preparing for extinction. The Systems Alliance knows more but can't act openly. They're rebuilding their fleet after the Citadel battle, strengthening defenses. But they're limited by politics, by resources, by the fact that most of humanity doesn't understand the threat. Admiral Hackett believes Shepard, so do some other Alliance officials. But belief doesn't equal readiness. You can't prepare for an invasion when half your government thinks you're chasing shadows. Cerberus knows the truth. The elusive man has been preparing for years. His organization has resources the Alliance lacks, freedom from bureaucracy, ability to operate in shadows, but his methods are questionable, his goals unclear. He wanted to preserve the collector base for study. wanted to use Reaper technology against them. Shepard refused because some knowledge is too dangerous, some power too corrupting. The elusive man accepted the decision, but the tension remains. Cerberus rebuilt Shepard for a reason. They have plans that extend beyond stopping collectors, plans that might not align with what Shepard wants. The alliance between them is temporary, built on mutual need rather than trust. When the Reapers arrive, that alliance might shatter completely. But there's another problem, one that nobody's talking about yet. The Reapers don't just arrive and attack, they prepare, they infiltrate, they corrupt civilizations from within before the harvest begins. Sovereign tried this with Saren, used indoctrination to create a willing agent who opened the Citadel relay. The plan failed, but the strategy remains sound. The Reapers are patient. They've harvested civilizations for millions of years. They understand how to break species down, how to turn their strengths into weaknesses, how to make them destroy themselves before the harvest even starts. Indoctrination is the key weapon. It's not mind control in the traditional sense. It's subtler, more insidious. Exposure to Reaper technology gradually alters brain chemistry, changes thought patterns, rewrites priorities. Victims don't realize it's happening. They think their decisions are their own. They rationalize increasingly extreme actions as necessary, as justified, as the only logical choice. By the time they realize something's wrong, they're already too far gone. Saren was brilliant, strong-willed, one of the Council's best specters, and he was completely indoctrinated, believed he was saving the galaxy by serving the Reapers, thought organic life could be preserved by proving useful to them. He was wrong, but he couldn't see it. The indoctrination had rewritten his entire worldview. The Collectors were indoctrinated too. They were Protheans once, the previous cycle's apex species. After the Reapers harvested their civilization, they took the survivors and transformed them. Genetic modification, technological augmentation, complete mental conditioning. The Collectors don't remember being Prothean. They have no sense of what they lost. They serve Harbinger absolutely, building Reapers from the species they once were. It's the ultimate corruption, taking a civilization's survivors and turning them into tools for harvesting the next cycle, making them complicit in their own species' destruction. If the Reapers win this cycle, they'll do the same to humanity. Some humans will survive the initial harvest. The Reapers will take them, modify them, indoctrinate them, turn them into the next Collectors. Those humans will spend the next 50,000 years preparing the galaxy for the cycle after this one. They'll abduct the next civilization's colonists, build the next generation of Reapers, never understanding what they lost. That's the real horror of the Reapers. Not just that they kill civilizations, that they corrupt them, that they turn species against themselves, that they make extinction into a self-perpetuating cycle where each harvested civilization helps harvest the next. It's efficient, it's thorough, and it's almost impossible to fight once it starts, because by the time you realize you're being indoctrinated, you're already compromised. Your thoughts aren't fully your own anymore. You can't trust your own judgment. Every decision might be influenced by subtle Reaper conditioning you can't detect. Shepard has been exposed to Reaper technology repeatedly. The Prothean beacon, the cipher, Sovereign's wreckage, the Collector base, each exposure carried risk. Each moment near Reaper artifacts was a moment the indoctrination could take hold. The fact that Shepard remains clear-headed suggests resistance. Maybe the Prothean cipher provides some protection. Maybe Cerberus's reconstruction included safeguards. Maybe Shepard is just naturally resistant, but there's no way to be certain. No test for indoctrination that an indoctrinated person would trust. The paranoia is part of the weapon's effectiveness. Even if you're not indoctrinated, you have to wonder if you are, have to question every decision, second-guess every instinct. It's psychological warfare at the deepest level. The galaxy needs to prepare but doesn't know how. The threat is too large, too incomprehensible. How do you prepare for machines that can indoctrinate you, that can turn your own technology against you, that have been perfecting their harvest technique for millions of years? The previous cycles tried. The Protheans had 50,000 years to develop after the cycle before them. They built a massive civilization, colonized thousands of worlds, developed incredible technology, and they still lost. The Reapers harvested them completely. The current cycle has advanced faster than the Protheans. Humanity went from primitive tribes to spaceflight in a few thousand years. Other species developed even faster, but speed of advancement might not matter. The Reapers have seen countless cycles develop. They know every strategy, every defense, every attempt to resist. The relay network itself is a trap. The mass relays allow faster than light travel across the galaxy. They connect civilizations, enable trade and cooperation. But the Reapers built them. Their Reaper technology left behind specifically to guide organic development along predictable paths. Species discover the relays, use them to expand, build civilizations around them, become dependent on them, and when the Reapers return, the relay network becomes a cage. The Reapers control it completely. They can shut down relays, trap fleets, isolate worlds. The very technology that allowed civilization to flourish becomes the tool of its destruction. The Citadel is the same. It seems like the galaxy's political center, the seat of council authority, but it's actually a dormant mass relay, a massive trap that the Reapers can activate when they're ready. Sovereign tried to open it early. The plan failed, but the trap remains. Next time, they'll be more careful. Everything in the galaxy is built on Reaper foundations, Mass Effect technology, Element Zero, the entire scientific framework that allows advanced civilization. All of it traces back to Reaper artifacts. The Protheans thought they discovered these principles, but they were really just following the path the Reapers left for them, learning what the Reapers wanted them to learn, developing along lines the Reapers had seen a million times before. This cycle is doing the same thing: human biotics, Asari biotechnology, Turian military doctrine, Solarian intelligence networks. All of it built on Mass Effect principles the Reapers introduced. All of it predictable to beings who've orchestrated countless cycles. Breaking free requires rejecting the foundation, developing technology that doesn't rely on Mass Effect principles, finding alternatives to the relay network, building weapons the Reapers haven't seen before. But that takes time, and time is the one resource the galaxy doesn't have. The Alpha Relay sits in Batarian space. It's a primary relay connected directly to the network's core. Destroying it would isolate an entire region, delay the Reaper's arrival, buy precious time for preparation, but it would also kill everyone in the system. 300,000 Batarians live on the relay's colony world, innocent civilians who have no idea what's coming. The choice is impossible. Sacrifice 300,000 to save billions. Commit genocide to prevent extinction. Become the monster you're fighting against to have any chance of winning. Shepard faces this decision because nobody else can. The Alliance won't act, the Council won't believe. Only Shepard has the knowledge and the means and the will to do what's necessary, even when what's necessary is unthinkable. The Alpha Relay is destroyed, the colony world obliterated, 300,000 Batarians dead in an instant. The relay network damaged severely enough to delay the Reaper's approach. It buys time, months, maybe a year, but the cost is staggering. Shepard becomes a war criminal, the galaxy's savior turned mass murderer. The Batarians demand justice. The Alliance can't protect someone who destroyed an entire system, even if the reasons were sound, even if it saved billions. The political fallout is immediate. Shepard is arrested, put on trial, stripped of command, locked away while the galaxy argues about what to do. And while they argue, the Reapers keep coming, delayed but not stopped, drawing closer to the galaxy's edge, preparing for the harvest that's been delayed for 50,000 years. The cycle will continue, unless this civilization can do what none before it managed: break the pattern, survive the harvest, defeat beings that have never been defeated. It seems impossible, but impossible is all that's left. Earth doesn't know yet. Humanity's homeworld continues its daily existence. People wake up, go to work, raise families, argue about politics, watch entertainment, live normal lives. They've heard about the battle at the Citadel. Most think it was a Geth attack. Some know about Shepard, the human spectre, the first human to join the Council's elite agents, a symbol of humanity's growing influence. But they don't know about the Reapers, don't understand that extinction is approaching, that their planet sits in the path of an invasion that's been planned for millions of years, that their children might not grow up, that their civilization might end before most of them realize it's threatened. The ignorance is almost merciful. What would change if everyone knew? Panic, chaos, the collapse of social order as people realize there's no escape. Maybe it's better they don't know. Better they live normally while those who understand the truth prepare in secret. But secrets won't save them. When the Reapers arrive, everyone will know. Everyone will understand exactly what's happening. And by then, it will be too late for preparation. Too late for anything except survival. The harvest will begin the way it always begins. Sudden, overwhelming, unstoppable. The Reapers will emerge from dark space, their massive forms blotting out stars. They'll ignore military targets initially, head straight for population centers, major cities, colonies, anywhere humans gather in large numbers. They'll begin processing, harvesting genetic material, building the next human Reaper. The previous attempt was destroyed, but the Reapers are patient. They'll build another, and another, as many as it takes. They have all the time in the universe. Organic life doesn't. Human Shepherd 2. The Arrival. Mass Effect reaches this point and stops pretending there's an easy way forward. The Arrival DLC ends with Shepard in custody, waiting for trial, knowing the Reapers are coming, knowing nobody else believes it enough to act. The galaxy spent 2 years arguing about whether Sovereign was really a Reaper or just a Geth flagship. 2 years wasted while the threat grew closer. Now there's no time left for debate. The invasion begins without warning. Earth's defense network detects something at the edge of the system. Multiple contacts, massive, moving fast, too fast for any known ship design. The signatures don't match anything in Alliance databases. They're not Geth, not Batarian, not any known species. They're something else entirely, something old. Within hours, every telescope on Earth points skyward. Military installations go to high alert. News networks interrupt regular programming. People look up and see lights in the sky. Hundreds of them. Growing larger, coming closer. Then the first Reaper enters visual range. It's incomprehensible. The size alone defies understanding. The thing is 2 kilometers long, shaped like a nautilus. All curves and angles that shouldn't work together but somehow do. Its surface is black, not painted black. Black like the absence of light, like looking into the space between stars. And it's making a sound, a deep thrumming that resonates in bone, in teeth, in the base of the skull, a sound that triggers something primal, ancient, the genetic memory of prey recognizing a predator. This is Harbinger, the first Reaper, the oldest, the most powerful. It's been waiting in dark space for 50,000 years, leading the Reaper fleet, guiding the harvest. Now it's here, and it's not alone. The sky fills with them, dozens, then hundreds, capital-class Reapers each the size of a city, destroyer-class Reapers smaller but still massive, all descending on Earth's major population centers. The Alliance fleet engages immediately, every ship in orbit, every defense platform, every weapon humanity has developed over centuries of expansion. They might as well be throwing rocks. Reaper shields absorb everything. Their main weapons fire streams of molten metal that punch through Alliance dreadnoughts like they're not there. A single shot from a Reaper destroys a cruiser, erases it from existence. The fleet that defended Earth from the Batarians, that held the line against the Geth, that represented humanity's military strength, gone in minutes, burning wreckage falling from orbit. The ground defenses fare no better. Railguns, missile batteries, mass accelerator cannons designed to take out capital ships. The Reapers ignore them. Their shields don't even flicker. They land in major cities: London, New York, Beijing, Tokyo, Mumbai, São Paulo, Lagos, Cairo. Every major population center simultaneously. Their legs punch into the ground. Massive feet crushing buildings, streets, everything beneath them. Then they begin harvesting. That's the only word for it. Harvest. The Reapers deploy ground forces, creatures that were once organic. Now they're synthetic. Husks. Humans converted into mindless soldiers. Their bodies augmented with cybernetics. Their minds erased. They swarm through streets, breaking into buildings, dragging people from their homes. Some victims are killed outright. Others are taken, lifted by tractor beams into the Reapers themselves. Nobody knows what happens inside. Not yet. But the screaming doesn't stop for hours. Shepard watches from a holding cell on Earth, through a window. Unable to help, unable to fight, the greatest threat humanity has ever faced arrives, and the one person who saw it coming is locked up. The irony would be funny if it wasn't tragic. An Alliance officer appears at the cell, says the Council wants Shepard at the Citadel, says there's a ship waiting, says the charges are suspended until this crisis is resolved. Shepard doesn't waste time asking questions. There'll be time for that later, if there is a later. The escape from Earth is chaos. The Normandy SR-2 arrives, Joker at the helm, EDI coordinating escape vectors. They fly through a battlefield, Reaper destroyers everywhere, Alliance fighters swarming like insects, achieving nothing. The Normandy is fast, fastest ship in the fleet, but even it can barely avoid the Reaper's weapons. A beam passes close enough to cook the paint off the hull. Another shot destroys a frigate that was covering their escape. They make it through. Barely. Jump to FTL. Leave Earth behind. Leave millions of people behind. Shepard watches the planet shrink in the viewport. Watches the Reapers landing. Knows that everyone down there is going to die or worse. There's nothing that can be done. Not yet. First, there has to be a plan. A way to fight back. Something that can actually hurt these things. The Citadel is in chaos when they arrive. Every species sending emergency transmissions, requesting aid, demanding explanations. The council chambers are packed, representatives from every major civilization, all talking at once, all demanding answers. The council looks overwhelmed. The Asari councillor tries to restore order, fails. The Solarian councillor suggests forming a committee to study the situation. The Turian councillor argues for immediate military response. None of it matters. The Reapers don't care about committees or military responses. They've done this thousands of times before. Every strategy has been tried. Every defense has failed. That's why the cycle continues. Shepard interrupts the arguing, explains what the Protheans learned, what the archives on Ilos revealed, the conduit, the keepers, the trap that's been prepared for 50,000 years. Some believe, most don't want to. It's too big, too terrible. Easier to think this is just a war, a conventional conflict that can be won through conventional means. Shepard knows better, knows this isn't a war, it's an extinction event. The only question is whether this cycle can break the pattern. Do something the Protheans couldn't. Survive. The Turian councillor mentions something called the Crucible. Ancient plans, recovered from Prothean archives. A weapon, possibly. The plans are incomplete, spread across multiple sites, multiple archives, but if they could be assembled, if the device could be built, maybe, just maybe. There's a chance, it's not much, but it's all there is. Shepard takes command of the Normandy, gets authorization to recruit anyone, go anywhere, do whatever's necessary to build this weapon. The mission is impossible, the odds are worse than impossible, but impossible is all that's left. The game shifts here, changes from a story about Shepard to a story about the galaxy. Every species faces extinction. Every civilization must choose, fight together or die alone. Old enemies must become allies. Ancient hatreds must be set aside. Species that have warred for centuries must cooperate, or none of them survive. The Krogan are first. Their homeworld is under attack. Reaper forces landing on Tuchanka. The Krogan fight back with everything they have. Raw aggression, centuries of survival instinct, weapons designed to kill anything. But even Krogan ferocity isn't enough against Reapers. They're being overrun. Erdnot Rex leads the defense, the Krogan leader who unified the clans, who gave his species hope for the first time in centuries. He's fighting a losing battle, knows it, fights anyway because that's what Krogan do. Shepard arrives with a proposal. The Krogan join the fight against the Reapers. In exchange, the genophage gets cured. The genetic disease that's been killing Krogan babies for 1,000 years. The punishment the Turians and Solarians inflicted to end the Krogan rebellions. It's controversial. The Solarians argue the Krogan can't be trusted, that curing the genophage risks another war, that Krogan population growth will destabilize the galaxy. Shepard argues there won't be a galaxy if the Reapers win. That old fears matter less than current survival, that the Krogan deserve a chance to fight for their future. The choice comes down to Mordin Solus, the Solarian scientist who helped maintain the genophage, who improved it, made it more effective. He's the only one who can cure it now. And he has to decide whether his people's security matters more than doing the right thing. Mordin chooses to cure it, sacrifices himself to distribute the cure from a tower on Tushanka. His last words are sung, a Gilbert and Sullivan patter song, a scientist to the end. The genophage is cured. The Krogan pledge their full military strength to the war effort. Rex promises every Krogan warrior will fight, every ship will deploy. His species gets a second chance, and they're going to use it to face extinction head-on. The Quarians are next. They've launched a war against the Geth, trying to reclaim their homeworld, Rannoch, the planet they lost 300 years ago when their synthetic creations rebelled. The timing is terrible. The Reapers are harvesting the galaxy, and the Quarians are fighting the Geth. Shepard arrives to find both sides locked in brutal combat. Geth ships versus Quarian ships. Geth ground forces versus Quarian marines. A war that's been brewing for centuries, finally erupting at the worst possible moment. But there's a complication. The Reapers have upgraded the Geth, given them processing power beyond anything they had before, made them smarter, faster, more dangerous. In exchange, the Geth serve the Reapers, act as ground forces, help with the harvest. The upgrade came with a cost, though. The Geth lost their independence, their consensus. They're not individuals anymore. They're tools, slaves to Reaper code. Legion explains this, the Geth platform that joined Shepard's team. That proved synthetics could be individuals, could choose, could be trusted. Legion has a solution. Reaper code can be repurposed, used to give all Geth true intelligence, true consciousness. They'd become individuals, every single platform, billions of them, all capable of independent thought. But the upgrade requires broadcasting the code to every Geth simultaneously. And the Quarians are in the middle of their assault. If the Geth become more intelligent while the Quarians are attacking them, the Geth might wipe out the Quarian fleet, might end the Quarian species entirely. Shepard has to choose, let Legion upgrade the Geth and risk the Quarians, or stop the upgrade and let the Geth remain slaves to the Reapers. There's a third option if you've prepared correctly. If Shepard brokered peace between Legion and Tali earlier, if the trust is there, if both sides can be convinced to stop fighting, the Quarians stand down, Legion broadcast the upgrade, the Geth achieve consciousness, and instead of fighting both species, turn their weapons on the Reapers. The war ends, peace achieved for the first time in 3 centuries. 2 species working together, synthetic and organic, proving it's possible. But Legion doesn't survive. The upgrade requires his core functions, his personality, his sense of self. He sacrifices everything to give his people consciousness. His last words are simple. Does this unit have a soul? Then he's gone. The Geth live. The Quarians survive. Both species join the war effort. But the cost keeps mounting. Every victory requires sacrifice. Every ally gained costs someone's life. The Asari are next. Thessia is under attack. The Asari homeworld, center of their civilization, home to billions. The Reapers hit it hard. Multiple capital ships, endless ground forces. The Asari military is overwhelmed. Their commandos are legendary. Their biotics are the strongest in the galaxy. None of it matters. The Reapers are systematically destroying the planet. Shepard arrives to find cities burning, refugees fleeing, the Asari government in collapse. There's a Prothean artifact on Thessia, a beacon, one the Asari have hidden for thousands of years. They built their entire civilization around it, used its knowledge to advance faster than any other species, became the most powerful culture in the galaxy because of Prothean secrets they never shared. Now the Reapers want it. The artifact contains information about the catalyst, the final component of the crucible, the thing that makes the weapon work. Shepard fights through Reaper forces to reach the temple, finds the beacon, begins the download. Then Kaileng appears, the elusive man's assassin, enhanced, augmented, loyal to Cerberus. He's there to steal the data, to take the catalyst information to the elusive man. The fight is brutal. Leng is fast, stronger than human, augmented with Reaper technology. He matches Shepard move for move, but he has backup. A Reaper appears, Harbinger. The first Reaper, the oldest. It destroys the temple, brings the entire structure down. Leng escapes with the data. Shepard barely survives. Thessia falls. The Asari homeworld is lost. Billions dead or harvested. The beacon destroyed. The catalyst information stolen. It's the first major defeat. The first time Shepard completely fails. The Asari are broken. Their counselor resigns. Their military is scattered. Their people are refugees. The most advanced civilization in the galaxy, reduced to survivors in a matter of days. This is what the Reapers do. This is the harvest. The weight of Thessia's fall settles over the entire galaxy. It's not just a military defeat. It's psychological. The Asari were supposed to be untouchable, the most advanced species, the diplomats, the peacekeepers, the ones who'd maintained galactic civilization for thousands of years. If they can fall in days, what hope does anyone else have? Shepard returns to the Normandy empty-handed. No catalyst data, no victory. Just the memory of cities burning and billions dying. The crew is quiet. They've lost before, but never like this. Never a complete failure with such devastating consequences. Even Joker doesn't crack jokes. The silence says everything. But there's no time to process the loss. The war continues whether you're ready or not. The Crucible is almost complete. This massive weapon built from Prothean designs. The combined effort of every species in the galaxy. Turians, humans, Asari, Solarians, everyone contributing resources and expertise. It's the largest construction project in galactic history, and it's almost finished. There's just one problem. Without the catalyst data that Kai Leng stole, they don't know how to activate it. The Crucible is complete but useless, like building a gun without understanding how the trigger works. Hackett contacts Shepard with new intelligence. Cerberus has the data. They're analyzing it at their headquarters, a massive station called Kronos, the elusive man's base of operations, the heart of Cerberus. It's heavily defended. Cerberus has been building their forces throughout the war. While everyone else fought Reapers, Cerberus focused on control, on understanding Reaper technology, on perfecting indoctrination. They've become a significant military power. Not as strong as the Alliance or Turians, but dangerous, fanatical. Every operative completely loyal to the elusive man's vision. The Alliance commits everything to the assault on Kronos. Multiple fleets, thousands of Marines. This isn't a stealth mission, it's a full invasion. Shepard leads the ground assault while Alliance ships hammer Cerberus defenses from orbit. The battle is massive. Cerberus troops are everywhere. Enhanced soldiers, mechs, turrets. Every corridor is a fight, but Cerberus is losing. Their forces are good, but they're not prepared for this level of assault. The Alliance pushes through deck by deck. Cerberus falls back, regroups, falls back again. They're buying time, trying to let the elusive man complete something. Whatever he's working on, he needs every minute they can give him. Shepard fights through to the command center, expecting another confrontation with Kai Leng, another difficult battle, but Leng isn't there. The elusive man is. Sort of. He appears as a hologram, standing in his office somewhere else in the station. He looks different, worse. His eyes have that Reaper glow, the telltale sign of indoctrination. His skin is pale, almost translucent, veins visible beneath the surface. He's deteriorating. He still believes he's in control, still thinks he can master Reaper technology, use it to elevate humanity. He's studied the catalyst data, knows what it does, and he has a different plan. The Crucible isn't a weapon in the traditional sense. It's a tool, one that can be used different ways depending on how it's activated. The Reapers know this. They've been manipulating the elusive man, feeding him information, letting him think he's figured out how to control them. His plan is simple. Use the Crucible to take control of all Reapers, every single one. Turn them into tools for human advancement. Imagine the power, entire fleets of Reaper ships, all the knowledge they've accumulated over millions of years. All that technology, all under human control, humanity would ascend to galactic dominance overnight. No more struggling, no more fighting, just absolute power. But it's not his plan. It's theirs. The Reapers have been guiding him toward this conclusion, feeding his ego, his belief in human superiority, his conviction that he knows better than everyone else. Classic indoctrination. The victim thinks they're in control while following the Reaper agenda perfectly. The elusive man can't see it, or won't. He's too far gone. Shepard tries to reason with him, points out the obvious signs of indoctrination, the glowing eyes, the deteriorating health, the fact that his plan serves the Reapers perfectly. If he takes control of the Reapers, he becomes their puppet. They control him. Therefore, they control themselves. It's circular logic designed to trap him, but he doesn't listen, can't listen. The indoctrination has progressed too far. Then Kai Leng arrives, moving fast, attacking immediately. This is the final confrontation. No interruptions, no escapes. Just Shepard and the assassin, one-on-one. Leng is everything Cerberus poured resources into. Enhanced reflexes, Reaper tech augmentation, years of training. He's killed dozens of people for the elusive man, thinks he's unbeatable. The fight is brutal. Leng moves like liquid, dodging, striking, using every advantage. But Shepard has been fighting for 3 years, has faced worse, has survived impossible odds repeatedly. This is just another enemy. Dangerous, but not invincible. The battle flows across the command center. Close quarters. No room for mistakes. Leng gets cocky, leaves an opening. Shepard takes it, drives an Omni blade through his chest. Leng looks surprised, like he genuinely didn't think he could lose. Then he collapses, the legendary Cerberus assassin, dead on the floor of Kronos Station. The elusive man watches via hologram, shows nothing, no emotion, no reaction to his best operative dying. He's too indoctrinated to care about individuals anymore. Shepard recovers the catalyst data, everything they need to complete the crucible. The elusive man retreats, his hologram disappears, the station begins to self-destruct. Cerberus is done, their headquarters destroyed, their leader exposed as indoctrinated, their forces scattered, they're no longer a threat. The Alliance withdraws with the data, mission accomplished. Back on the Normandy, the final pieces fall into place. The catalyst data reveals what the Crucible actually needs. It has to dock with the Citadel, that massive space station at the heart of galactic civilization, the seat of council power, home to millions. The Citadel isn't just a station, it's a Reaper creation, always has been. They built it millions of years ago, left it for organic species to find, made it the center of galactic government, all part of the trap. The Citadel is a mass relay, a special one. It connects to dark space where the Reapers wait between cycles. That's how they invade so quickly. They don't travel from dark space conventionally. They use the Citadel as a doorway, jump directly to the heart of galactic civilization. It's why every cycle fails. The capital falls first, the government collapses, coordination becomes impossible. But the Citadel has another function. It's the catalyst, the final piece of the crucible. When the superweapon docks with the Citadel, it becomes operational. That's when choices have to be made. That's when the true nature of the crucible is revealed. Everything has been building to this moment. 3 years, 2 games, countless decisions, all leading to the Citadel. There's a problem. The Citadel isn't in Citadel space anymore. The Reapers moved it. After the failed assault earlier in the war, they relocated it to Earth orbit, right above humanity's homeworld, right where the fighting is thickest, right where Harbinger and dozens of other Reapers are harvesting humanity. The final battle has to happen there. Hackett assembles the largest fleet in galactic history. Every species contributes, every favor Shepard earned, every alliance forged, every species saved. They all show up. Turians bring their fleets. The Asari send what remains of their navy. Solarians deploy their forces. Geth ships arrive alongside Quarian vessels. Krogan warriors board transports. Rashni ships emerge from dark space. Even the Hanar and Elcor commit resources. It's unprecedented. Every council species, every non-council race, every faction, all working together, fighting together. The combined might of the entire galaxy focused on one objective: take Earth, reach the Citadel, activate the Crucible, end this war. This is what Shepard built, not through force, through diplomacy, through sacrifice, through proving that cooperation was possible. The fleet is massive, thousands of ships, dreadnoughts, cruisers, frigates, fighters, every class, every design, united under one banner. It should be inspiring. It is inspiring, but everyone knows the odds. The Reapers have been harvesting for months. They're at full strength, hundreds of capital ships, thousands of destroyers, endless ground forces, and they're defending their prize, humanity, Earth, the final harvest of this cycle. Shepard addresses the crew before the battle, the people who've been there from the beginning: Joker, EDI, Garrus, Tali, Liara, James, Cortez, Trainer, Dr. Chakwas. Everyone. Some have been there since the SR1, since Sovereign, since the very start. Others joined along the way. But they're all here now, ready for the final push. Shepard keeps it simple. They've done the impossible before. They'll do it again. Whatever happens, they finish this together. The fleet approaches Earth. The Reapers are waiting. They knew this was coming, prepared for it, positioned their strongest forces in Earth's orbit. Harbinger is there, the first Reaper, the one that's been hunting Shepard since Horizon, the one that destroyed the SR-1. It's personal now, has been for a while. The battle begins, and it's unlike anything seen before. Thousands of ships engaging simultaneously, dreadnought main guns firing, fighters dogfighting, frigates launching missiles, Reapers firing their main weapons, ships exploding, debris everywhere. The scale is incomprehensible. This isn't a battle, it's a war condensed into a single engagement. The Crucible arrives, towed by Turian dreadnoughts, protected by concentrated fire from multiple fleets. It needs to reach the Citadel, needs to dock, but the Reapers focus everything on stopping it. Harbinger personally leads the assault, its beam weapon cutting through ships like paper. Dozens of vessels destroyed in seconds. The Turians hold position, keep towing, keep moving forward. Ground forces deploy to Earth's surface. The Crucible needs a clear path. That means pushing through London. The city is devastated. Buildings collapsed, streets cratered, Reapers everywhere. Husks, marauders, brutes, banshees, every type of ground force. The Alliance Marines push forward. Supported by Krogan, by Turian infantry, by Asari commandos, by Geth platforms, by Rachni warriors, everyone fighting together. Shepard leads the ground assault. Anderson is there, the man who gave Shepard the Normandy, who believed when others didn't, who's been fighting on Earth since the war began. He's older now, tired, but still fighting, still leading. They push toward the conduit, a Reaper device that can transport to the Citadel. It's the only way up, the only way to reach the catalyst. The fighting is intense, worse than anything before. Reaper forces are endless. Every meter is paid in blood. Marines fall. Aliens die. The casualties are staggering, but they keep moving, keep pushing. The conduit is close, just ahead, almost there. Then Harbinger appears, descends from orbit, focuses its beam weapon on the ground forces, sweeps across the battlefield. Dozens die instantly, vaporized, more wounded, burning, screaming. Shepard is hit, not directly. The beam strikes nearby. The blast wave throws them hard. They hit the ground, can't move. Something's broken, maybe everything. Vision blurs, sound muffled. Can see the conduit. Right there, so close. Anderson is moving toward it, other survivors too. But Shepard can't follow, can't stand, can barely breathe. Then Harbinger leaves, pulled back to orbit. The Crucible is docking, the Reaper needs to stop it. Shepard drags themselves forward, inches at a time, every movement agony, but they move. Reach the conduit, fall through. Transport activates, everything goes white. Shepard wakes up inside the Citadel, but something's wrong. The architecture is damaged, twisted. Reaper technology has been integrated into the structure. Conduits and cables run along the walls, pulsing with red energy. This isn't the pristine station from before. It's been converted, corrupted, made into something else. Shepard stands, barely. Their armor is shattered, systems failing, they're bleeding, badly. But they're alive. They start moving, following the path ahead. There's only one direction to go. Forward. Always forward. Anderson is there. Made it through the conduit moments before. He's in worse shape than Shepard, barely standing, but still moving, still fighting. They move together, supporting each other. Two soldiers at the end of everything. The Citadel is strange, quiet, no keepers, no people, just the hum of Reaper technology, the sound of something vast and ancient. They reach a control panel. Anderson tries to open the arms. The Citadel needs to open for the Crucible to dock properly, but the controls don't respond. Something's overriding them. Someone. The elusive man appears, steps out from the shadows. He's been here the whole time, waiting. He looks different. His eyes glow, Reaper implants visible under his skin. He's more machine than man now, but still convinced he's right, still believes he can control them. He argues that destroying the Reapers is a mistake, that humanity needs their technology, their power. That control is the only solution. Shepard tries reasoning with him, tries explaining that the Reapers can't be controlled, that everyone who tried was indoctrinated, became their servant. But the elusive man won't listen. Can't listen. He's too far gone. The indoctrination is complete. He pulls a gun, points it at Anderson, says if Shepard won't help him control the Reapers, he'll find someone who will. Shepard can try to convince him, use every paragon or renegade option they've built up, every choice they've made, every relationship they've formed, the weight of 3 games of decisions. If Shepard has done enough, built enough reputation, the elusive man hesitates, realizes what's happened to him, sees the indoctrination for what it is, and he shoots himself. One final act of will. The only choice he has left. If Shepard hasn't done enough, doesn't have the reputation, the conversation ends differently. The elusive man shoots Anderson, then himself. Either way, he dies. The man who wanted to save humanity becomes another victim of the Reapers. Anderson is wounded, badly. Shepard helps him to a console. They open the Citadel arms together. The Crucible docks, its energy systems activating, connecting to the Citadel. Shepard and Anderson sit, watch Earth through the observation window. The planet they're fighting for, the home they're trying to save. Anderson talks about the future, about what comes after, about rebuilding. He's proud of Shepard, always has been, proud of who they became, what they accomplished. Then he stops talking, goes quiet. Shepard looks over. Anderson is gone. The man who gave them everything, who believed when no one else did, who was there from the beginning. He doesn't get to see the end. Shepard is alone now, bleeding out. Systems failing. They should be dead already, would be, if not for the Lazarus implants, the Cerberus technology keeping them alive. One last irony. A voice calls out, tells Shepard to approach. They stand, move forward, every step harder than the last. They reach a platform, it rises, takes them up. Into the heart of the Citadel, to the catalyst. The platform stops. Shepard is in a massive chamber, the core of the Citadel, energy swirling everywhere, Reaper technology integrated into every surface. A figure appears. It looks like the child from Shepard's dreams, the boy who died on Earth, the one they couldn't save. But it's not really the boy. It's the catalyst, the AI that controls the Reapers. It takes a form from Shepard's mind, something familiar, easier to communicate with. The catalyst explains everything, the truth behind the cycles. The Reapers were created by the Leviathans, an ancient race that ruled the galaxy. They created an AI to solve a problem. Organic life always creates synthetic life, and synthetic life always destroys its creators. It happened repeatedly. Different species, different eras, same result. The Leviathans wanted to preserve organic life, so they tasked their AI with finding a solution. The AI found one, but not the solution the Leviathans expected. It turned on its creators, harvested them, used their genetic material to create the first Reaper, Harbinger. Then it continued the cycle. Every 50,000 years the Reapers return. Harvest advanced. Civilizations. Preserve them as Reapers. This prevents synthetic life from destroying all organic life. It's a terrible solution. But it's a solution. The cycles continue. Civilizations rise and fall. But organic life persists. The catalyst is that original AI, still following its directive, still trying to solve the problem. But the Crucible changes things. It's a weapon the catalyst didn't account for, built across multiple cycles, each civilization adding to the design, passing it forward. Now it's complete, and it gives Shepard options. The catalyst presents 3 choices: destroy, control, synthesis. Each has consequences. Destroy means wiping out all Reaper technology. Every Reaper dies, but so does everything built with Reaper tech. The mass relays, the Citadel, the Geth, EDI, everything. It's the clean break, the guaranteed end to the cycles, but the cost is high. Control means taking the elusive man's path, but doing it right. Shepard's consciousness uploaded into the Reaper network, becoming an AI, directing the Reapers, using them to rebuild, to protect. It preserves everything, saves the Geth, saves EDI, but Shepard dies. Their consciousness scattered across millions of Reapers, no longer human. Synthesis is something new, merging organic and synthetic life, changing everyone, rewriting DNA, making everyone part organic, part synthetic. The distinction disappears. The conflict that drives the cycles ends, but it forces change on every living thing. Without asking, without consent, each choice reflects the journey. Destroy is Paragon, the righteous path, ending the Reapers forever, no matter the cost. Control is Renegade, the pragmatic choice, using the reapers, directing their power. Synthesis is something Yali. C, the middle path, the compromise, but also the most invasive. There's no right answer. Just consequences. Shepherd makes their choice. If they choose destroy, they move toward the right conduit. The path is falling apart, collapsing. They barely make it. Reach the console, fire their pistol, shatter the containment. Energy explodes outward, spreads through the citadel, through the crucible, across the mass relay network. Every relay pulses, overloads, explodes in a wave of energy. The wave spreads across the galaxy, hits every reaper. They shut down, fall, collapse. Harbinger crashes into Earth. The destroyer crashes into the citadel. Every reaper everywhere dies. The Geth shut down. Their programs corrupted, lost. EDI stops responding. Her systems failed. The Normandy is fleeing, trying to outrun the energy wave. Joker pushes the engines, goes for a mass relay. Tries to jump. The wave hits mid-jump. The Normandy crashes. Somewhere. An unknown planet. Jungle. The crew survives, emerges from the wreckage. They're stranded, but alive. Back on the Citadel, Shepard is buried in rubble. The structure is collapsing, falling apart. They're not moving. If they choose control, they move toward the left conduit. The path is intact, easier. They reach the console. Two handles grab them, energy flows through their body. Burning, consuming, their consciousness uploads, spreads through the crucible, into the Reaper network. They become something vast, scattered, everywhere and nowhere. The Reapers stop fighting, respond to new commands. They begin helping, repairing, rebuilding, using their power to fix what they destroyed. The cycles end. But Shepard is gone. Their body falls from the Citadel, burning, disintegrating. Their voice echoes across the galaxy, changed, digital, promising protection, promising to watch over everyone. The Normandy survives, the relays survive, the Geth continue, EDI remains, everything is preserved. But Shepard isn't there to see it. If they choose synthesis, they move toward the center, the hardest path, collapsing, burning. They reach the edge, look down, energy below, waiting. They jump, fall. Their body dissolves, genetic material spreading through the crucible, mixing with Reaper technology. The energy wave is different this time, green instead of red or blue. It spreads across the galaxy, hits every living thing, changes them. Organic life gains synthetic properties. Synthetic life gains organic properties. The distinction blurs, disappears. Husks stop being mindless, gain awareness. The Reapers stop being enemies, become helpers. Everyone changes. Everyone becomes something new. The Normandy survives. The crew changes with everyone else. They're still themselves, but different, enhanced. The relays remain. The galaxy continues, but transformed. The ending changes based on war assets. If Shepard didn't gather enough support, didn't build the alliances, didn't unite the galaxy, the endings are darker. Destroy kills Shepard. No survival. Control fails. The Reapers resist. Synthesis doesn't spread far enough. If Shepard did everything right, talked to everyone, completed every mission, made every hard choice, gathered every possible ally, then with Destroy there's one more scene. Rubble shifts, on Earth, or the Citadel. Somewhere in the wreckage, a figure moves, armor scorched, systems dead, but breathing, chest rising, falling. Shepard survived, barely, against impossible odds. They always do. The screen cuts to black. The final choice reflects everything. 3 games of decisions, hundreds of hours, thousands of choices, all leading here. Some players choose Destroy. It's what they've been fighting for. Kill the Reapers, end the threat. No matter what it costs, it's clean, definitive. The enemy dies. Some choose Control, use the weapons, direct their power, save everyone, the Geth, EDI, or the synthetic life. It's pragmatic, efficient. The power remains but controlled. Some choose synthesis, end the conflict, merge organic and synthetic, create something new. It's hopeful, transformative, but invasive. There's no universally correct answer, just the answer that fits your Shepard. The choices you made, the character you built, that's what makes it powerful, and frustrating, and meaningful. The ending was controversial. still is. Players expected a final boss fight, expected their choices to matter more obviously, expected different endings based on their decisions. Instead, they got three choices, each with similar cutscenes. The controversy led to the extended cut, free DLC that added more context, more closure, more epilogue scenes showing the consequences. It helped, but the debate continues. Some love the endings, appreciate the philosophical choice, the moral ambiguity, the lack of easy answers. Others hate them, feel cheated, want something more definitive, more tied to their choices. Both perspectives are valid. The ending is what you make of it. After the credits, more scenes, epilogues showing the aftermath. If you chose Destroy, the galaxy rebuilds, slowly, without the relays at first, species isolated, but working to reconnect. Humanity leads the effort. The alliance becomes central. Shepard's legacy inspiring others. If you chose Control, the Reapers help. Reconstruction happens faster. The relays repaired, technology advanced. But everyone wonders, is this really Shepard? Or something wearing their face? The question lingers. If you chose Synthesis, the galaxy transforms. New understanding between organic and synthetic. Cooperation replacing conflict. The relays enhanced, technology evolving. Everyone changed, but together. Then the final scene. An old man tells a story. To a child under the stars, the story of the shepherd, the legend, the hero who united the galaxy, who faced the Reapers, who made the choice. The child asks if it really happened, if Shepard was real. The old man says yes, and maybe someday there will be more stories. The stars wait. The Mass Effects. T-Trilogy ends, not with a bang, not with a final battle cutscene, but with a choice, a consequence, a question about what it means to win, about what victory costs, about whether the ends justify the means. It's not the ending everyone wanted, but it's the ending we got, and years later it still generates discussion, still makes people think, still matters. That's the complete story, from Eden Prime to the Citadel, from Sovereign to Harbinger, from one soldier to an entire galaxy united. Every choice, every consequence, every relationship, all leading to three options, and whatever you chose, whatever your shepherd decided, the journey was yours. That's what Mass Effect gave us. Not just a story, but our story, our choices, our shepherd. And that's worth more than any perfect ending. So that's Mass Effect, all of it, from the discovery of the Prothean archives on Mars to the final choice aboard the Citadel. 50,000 years of history, condensed into one night. Ancient civilizations that rose and fell, gods that turned out to be machines, cycles that repeated for millions of years until one commander decided enough was enough. The thing about Mass Effect that keeps people coming back isn't really the Reapers. It's not even the combat or the planets you explore. It's the people, the crew you build, the relationships you form. Garrus becoming your best friend through 3 games. Tali going from a nervous kid on pilgrimage to an admiral. Rex uniting the Krogan when everyone thought it was impossible. Liara growing from an archaeologist into the galaxy's information broker. Mordin singing Gilbert and Sullivan while curing the genophage. Legion asking if this unit has a soul. These aren't just characters. They're people you spend dozens of hours with. People you make decisions for. People who trust you when the galaxy is ending. Every choice matters because you care about the consequences. Not in some abstract way, but because you know these people. You were there when Garrus was dealing with his anger on Omega. When Tali was exiled from the fleet. When Rex was deciding whether to trust Solarians again, when Thane was making peace with his son before dying. The choices aren't difficult because they're morally complex. They're difficult because you care about everyone involved. That's why the genophage cure hits so hard. It's not just about curing a disease, it's about Rex finally having hope. Mordin finding redemption. Eve becoming the leader the Krogan need. Choosing between curing it and keeping Solarian support isn't a numbers game. It's personal. Same with the Quarry and Geth conflict. It's not about which species is right. It's about Tali and Legion, about whether peace is possible, about proving that the cycles can be broken. The Reapers work as antagonists because they're inevitable. They're not evil in a traditional sense. They're following their programming, solving a problem the only way they know how. The harvest isn't personal. It's just what happens every 50,000 years. Like a season changing, the galaxy reaches a certain point and the Reapers return. They've done it thousands of times. They'll do it thousands more unless someone stops them. Sovereign's conversation on Vermeer is still one of gaming's best villain moments. You exist because we allow it. You will end because we demand it. No negotiation, no appeal. Just cold certainty. The Reapers don't hate organic life. They're indifferent, and that indifference is more terrifying than malice. You can't reason with something that sees you as a resource to be harvested. The cycle itself is the real horror, the mass relays guiding development, the citadel waiting to be discovered, every civilization following the same path, building their societies on Reaper technology without knowing it. The trap is perfect because it's invisible. By the time you realize what's happening, it's too late. You're already dependent on the technology, already centralized on the citadel, already predictable. The Protheans figured it out, left warnings, changed the citadel's systems to buy the next cycle time, but they still lost. Their entire civilization harvested. The survivors turned into collectors. 50,000 years spent as slaves building Reapers from the species they once were. That's the fate waiting if you fail. Not just death, transformation into tools for the next harvest. Shepard breaks the cycle through unity, not through being stronger or smarter, through convincing everyone to work together. The Krogan who were sterile for 1,000 years, the Quarians and Geth who'd been at war for 3 centuries, the Turians and humans who started with a war, the Asari who thought they were above everyone, the Solarians who preferred manipulation to direct action, getting all these species to fight together, that's the real achievement. The final battle at Earth represents every choice across 3 games, every ally recruited, every peace brokered, every species saved. They all show up, fight together, the largest fleet in galactic history. Not because they're forced to, because Shepard convinced them it was possible, proved that cooperation works, that old hatreds can be set aside, that survival requires unity. The ending choice is controversial because there's no perfect answer. Destroy kills the Reapers, but costs the Geth an EDI. Everything synthetic dies. It's clean but brutal. Control preserves everything but turns Shepard into an AI. Uses the Reaper's power but risks becoming what you fought against. Synthesis ends the conflict by merging organic and synthetic life. Forces change on everyone without consent. Creates something new but invasive. Each option reflects a philosophy. Destroy is the warrior's choice. Kill the enemy. End the threat. Accept the cost. Control is the pragmatist's choice. Use the weapons. Direct their power. Save everyone possible. Synthesis is the idealist's choice. End the conflict permanently. Create understanding. Transform the galaxy. None of them are wrong. None are completely right. They're just different answers to an impossible question. How do you end a cycle that's repeated for millions of years? How do you solve a problem that destroyed thousands of civilizations? The fact that there's no easy answer is the point. Victory requires sacrifice. Progress requires change. Sometimes you don't get to save everyone. The extended cut added more context. More epilogue scenes showing consequences. Addresses hanging at the crash site. Characters rebuilding, the galaxy moving forward. It helped with closure. Showed that your choice mattered beyond the immediate moment. But the philosophical weight remains. What did victory cost? Was it worth it? Different players have different answers. Some people hate the endings, expected something more tied to their choices, wanted different outcomes based on decisions across 3 games, felt the 3 options were too similar, too reductive after hundreds of hours of complex choices. That criticism is valid. The endings could have been more varied, more obviously connected to player decisions. Others appreciate the ambiguity, the lack of a perfect solution, the fact that even winning requires choosing what to sacrifice. It's thematically consistent. The whole trilogy is about difficult choices, about costs and consequences. The ending reflects that, forces you to choose one final time, live with the results. Both perspectives make sense. The endings are what you make of them. What matters to your Shepard, what you've been fighting for, whether you prioritize destroying the Reapers over everything else, or preserving what you've built, or creating something new. The answer depends on the journey. Mass Effect's legacy isn't really about the Reapers or the ancient cycles. It's about showing that choices in games can matter, that relationships can feel real, that science fiction can be more than shooting aliens. The universe feels lived in, detailed. Every species has history, culture, motivations beyond being enemies or allies. The Codex entries alone contain more world building than most games' entire stories. The dialogue system changed how games handle conversations. Not perfectly. Paragon and Renegade are too binary. But the idea that you could shape your character through dialogue choices, that different players could have different shepherds, that your personality could emerge through how you spoke to people, that influenced everything that came after. The crew dynamic set a standard. Other games tried to copy it. Few succeeded, because it's not just about having companions, it's about making them matter, making their stories intersect with yours, making you care about their problems as much as the main plot. Garrus's loyalty mission isn't mandatory, but you do it anyway because Garrus is your friend. That's good character writing. The universe continues beyond the trilogy. Andromeda tried something different. New galaxy, new threats, new characters. It had problems, technical issues at launch, writing that didn't match the original trilogy. But the core idea was sound. The Mass Effect universe is bigger than Shepard. Other stories can be told. The next Mass Effect is coming. Eventually, teased in trailers, set after the trilogy somehow. Details are scarce, but the franchise isn't done. The question is whether it can recapture what made the original special, whether new characters can match the old crew, whether new stories can have the same weight. Time will tell. For now, the trilogy stands as one of gaming's best achievements, flaws and all. The combat evolved across 3 games from clunky to smooth. The graphics dated, but the art direction holds up. The inventory system in the first game was terrible. The planet scanning in the second was tedious. The ending was controversial. None of that matters as much as the whole. The complete experience of Commander Shepard's journey from Spectre candidate to Galaxy's savior. It's a story about unity, about proving that differences don't have to mean conflict, about facing impossible odds and finding a way, about the people who fight beside you being more important than the fight itself, about making hard choices and living with consequences, about sacrifice and hope and determination. The Reapers represented extinction, the end of everything, but they lost because they underestimated something fundamental. Organic life adapts, cooperates, finds solutions they hadn't considered. The cycle broke because this time was different. This time species worked together. This time someone united them. This time they had Shepard, your Shepard, the one you built through hundreds of choices, the one who saved the Rachni or killed them, who cured the genophage or sabotaged it, who brokered peace between Quarians and Geth or chose a side, who romanced Liara or Garrus or Tali or someone else, who was Paragon or Renegade or somewhere between, who made the final choice that defined everything. That's the real power of Mass Effect. It's not just a story someone told you. It's a story you participated in, shaped through your decisions. Your Shepard is different from everyone else's. Your experience is unique. The relationships you prioritized, the choices you made, the ending you picked, all of it combines into something personal. So whether you're hearing this while falling asleep, or studying, or just wanting the full story without playing 3 games, that's what Mass Effect is. A space opera about stopping ancient machines from harvesting the galaxy. A character drama about the people who fight beside you. A choice-driven RPG where decisions have weight. A story about your Commander Shepard saving the galaxy. One difficult choice at a time. The trilogy is complete. The story is told. The Reapers are defeated or controlled or transformed depending on your choice. The galaxy continues, changed but surviving. And somewhere in all of that, in all those choices and consequences and relationships and sacrifices, is your story, your journey through the Mass Effect universe. That's worth more than any perfect ending, because the imperfect one belongs to you.